Welcome back to the channel and to episode 17 of my Lotus Esprit diary. This should be the final update on the engine rebuild before it goes back into the car. So now that I've got most of the parts delivered, I'm bringing the last of them to the project shop, and we're going to have a meeting to just sort of review the project and see where we're going from here, see if I can figure out some timings or they can figure out some timings, and whether or not the car is going to be ready either before Christmas or ideally before sort of 8th of January, I think it is, when the next Pista Heritage Scramble is. This is the clutch release bearing and carrier for the Esprit. Now I did order a clutch release bearing from elsewhere, from QED Motorsport, along with the clutch and the clutch plate and the cover. But the bearing was the wrong type, wrong shape. So anyway, asking around, it seems that these so these are sort of CNC machined, this bit, and then there's a separate bearing, so it's sort of replaceable on its own if needed, sort of at a later date, without having to sort of replace the whole thing. So the original one was cast, because my engine's or the gearbox is the sort of pre-C35 gearbox, and it seemed to be struggling to get that bit. So here we go. It's a nice looking thing. I didn't realise it would be sort of, you know, blackened, but you don't see it anyway. So I'll flash up a picture of the original one, and you'll be able to see the, you know, it's a sort of a similar thing. The one that was sent before was only kind of this part, which, you know, really wasn't gonna work any which way we tried it. So these numbers are what, the size of the shims?
Size of the shims I'm waiting for. Yeah. The smallest is 84.
81, yeah.
So 7 thou is better all, really.
Yeah.
Difference between it.
What I've got here is the valve shims. I think there's 16 shims in total, the different measurements. Clive at Project Shop's got them all measured up, and those are the ones that he's reckoned he needs. Got a couple of thrust washers for the crank. And then the other thing, yesterday I was up there looking at there's an issue with the main bearing shells, in that this little lug on the end, which locates into a slot in the crank housing, it was on the wrong side. So the tag's on that side, the slot was on that side. Now, consulting the parts manual, we worked out that actually these were the wrong kind. Apparently there'd been ones like this had come off, or similar to this had come off the car, but the ones that needed to be on there were ones with a hole and a groove. It's obviously both of those things let the oil come down onto the crank. And you'll notice on that one, if we look closely, the tag is on the correct side compared to where the slot is on the engine, on the block. So all good. They come record time as well. I asked them to be sent really quickly so that we're not delaying any more the build. So with all these things now, I don't believe there's anything stopping Clive now putting the engine all back together. It's come back from the machinists, and hopefully we should be back together again within a week or so. Well, that would be great. Whether or not then the car will be ready or it'll be ready to go back in the car, I don't know. We're kind of heading very quickly towards Christmas, so I'm sure that Christmas is going to get in the way and people's holidays and such. So it's more than likely going to be after Christmas that everything gets put back together. As you can see, the car's been loaded onto a trailer. It's back off to the project shop where it's going to spend Christmas waiting for the engine. I think the engine's nearly done. I'm going to go and see that tomorrow. So today's the Tuesday before Christmas. I'm going to see the car tomorrow, see the engine tomorrow, and I'm guessing because of holidays and whatnot that it'll be reunited with its engine in the first week of January. So fingers crossed it still could be ready for the scramble, which is the end of the first week of January, but I think it's unlikely, but never know. They might have a good week putting it together. Well, I'm really pleased. As you can see, the engine's all back together. It's been fitted with the high torque drive belt and all the new pulleys and tensioned properly. Water pump is on, reconditioned water pump. The cam covers are still waiting to be put on. They're going to be put on, I think, after it's gone back into the engine. I'm not sure. I think it's just possibly because they're in a different place in the workshop. Distributors in, obviously the bell housing and everything go on after it's come off the engine stand. But all the shims were done, all the valve clearances sorted out, and by all accounts the compression is really good with those new pistons and rings. So I can't wait to see it get put back into the car and to be started up in the new year. So it was the last visit to the project shop before Christmas. This is now about 3 or 4 days before Christmas. So the engine you've seen is pretty much complete. The only things they now can do on that, they have to do when they put it back in the car. That will happen hopefully in the first week of January. One of the guys is actually off this week, so he won't be able to do it. But you know, they're all busy sort of cleaning up and getting squared away for Christmas. So I'm pretty pleased. It doesn't look like I'll be able to get into the car for the scramble, but probably it'll be about a week or so after that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, give me some comments, ask me some questions. Just keep me a bit motivated with some messages of support. That would be great. And I look forward to getting back into the Lotus, into the Esprit in January, and starting to drive it around and run the engine in, which should be a good year next year because it's the 75th anniversary of Lotus. Anyway, thanks again for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.